Hey everybody, how's it going? About 30 minutes ago, I released a video where I was talking about the fact that with the iPhone 12, it's been confirmed that you cannot change the rear camera from one phone to another. Functionality will stop working. It doesn't have the decency to simply tell you, I'm sorry, we don't want to allow you to actually fix your camera. It will just randomly not work in these very strange ways, as Hugh Jeffries pointed out in an excellent video that he did on his channel. A lot of people commented saying, but what if he broke the camera? But what if he did it wrong? Even though in that video I clearly state that he then took those cameras and he swapped everything back into the original housing and everything worked perfectly again, showcasing that he did not break any of the hardware. I said that there's a possibility this is a bug because this really doesn't seem like the kind of thing that you would do on purpose. You would just put a message saying sorry, it's not going to work. You wouldn't have this whole half functionality rubbish. I don't think this is done to be anti-repair. Let's give Apple some benefit of the doubt there. And the same thing that happened with the IRP program happened here. I gave Apple the benefit of the doubt, and I look like a moron. Someone immediately messaged me saying, here is what's showing up in Apple GSX. As you can see over here, in GSX, it says when system configuration is required. With the battery, on all the new ones it is because of the battery health thing. But with the camera, only with the iPhone 12 and up do you need to run system configuration when you change the camera, confirming from Apple's own documentation that if you're an independent repair shop or an end customer, even if you get access to an OEM, original, straight from the Apple Store, straight from the Foxconn Slave Factory camera that is blessed by Tim Cook, it will not work in your iPhone until you run their configuration utility, which you can't have access to, you pleb customer. This is proof of what I've been saying for about a few months now, which is that I feel less like a right to repair advocate and more like a right to repair eulogizer. I'm simply discussing the death of not just an industry, but a practice, an art, a procedure, a basic idea that you get to work on and fix the devices that you own. That you own the property that you pay for, that you are not simply renting every single device that you go out there and spend $1,000 or $3,000 on from the company that is leasing it to you. And what I'm starting to realize, and perhaps I'm being naive, and perhaps I was a bit late to only realize it this far in, nobody actually cares. I mean, if you let the average person know, hey, by the way, I know phones used to be like $400 to $600, now they're $1,200 to $1,500. You're not actually buying it, you're leasing it until it breaks. And when it breaks, the manufacturer has the right to do whatever because they've told all the companies that make all the chips and the parts that go into the phone to not sell it to end consumers or independent repair shops, even though that's been the standard from beginning of electronics up until maybe 10 or 20 years ago. Nobody cares. They'll just buy a new one anyway. When I tell a customer in my store, I know you spend $4,000 on this machine. The only problem with it is a $5 chip. I can't help you because they told the company that makes that chip to not make it available on Newark or Mouser or DigiKey.com like they used to. I can't help you. That customer will not say, okay, screw the company that did that to me. I'm going to get something else. They go right back on Apple.com and they buy another MacBook. What I'm learning at this point is that most people seem to genuinely not care about the idea that they're losing the ability to repair the products that they own, that they're losing the ability to say that they own the products that they buy. And the question that I'm increasingly asking myself is that if people don't care, then why do I? I know that there's going to be a bunch of comments in here saying, but Lewis, this is easy. Just don't buy an Apple. Buy a Samsung. What, you mean the company that just recently made it so that when you change the screen, the fingerprint sensor doesn't work anymore, even though they're not paired? Every company has something anti-repair about them. Apple is simply the tip of the iceberg. They're the one that sets the procedures and the standards that everybody else eventually follow. They're the leader, but every other company is right behind them. It's not like I can just phone up Samsung or LG or Motorola and say, I'd like a schematic to your newest smartphone. May I buy it, please? They're not going to give me any of this stuff. It's not like the ability to purchase chips is as easier with them than with Apple. It's typically just as bad. It's just they don't have the trifecta of being the most expensive, the most fragile, and the most anti-repair all in one ball. That's where Apple just kind of serves it to you on a platter and makes them a really easy example to point to when it comes to right to repair. But it's not like most other companies are really doing anything better. If anything, they're marching right off that cliff along with Apple. And they're taking everybody who wants to buy technology that they actually own rather than rent along with them. I actually said in my last video, let me give Apple a little bit of the benefit of the doubt here. Perhaps it is just a bug. Perhaps they do care about the consumer. This is just some sort of mistake. It's a misunderstanding. Boy, am I a fool. When system configuration is required, camera, iPhone 12. That's it for today. And as always, I hope you learned something. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye now.
My Rafflecopter goes swa swa swatch. Swa swa swatch. Swa swa swatch. Swa swa swatch.